Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guests are Ferrell McDonald and Melissa Schneider. Ferrell McDonald is Chief Marketing Officer, directing all brand development, digital and traditional marketing, communications, and experiences. Ferrell comes to GoldieBlox from Tinder, where she served as Chief Marketing Officer and established the popular dating brand as the meetup app for Gen Z. With 20 plus years of experience launching and building brands, Ferrell's portfolio includes multi-million-dollar campaigns for Spartacus, Magic City, Da Vinci's Demons, and Boss during her tenure as Senior Vice President of Marketing for Stars, as well as playing a key role in the innovative Live Strong, Diddy Runs the City, and women's dance campaigns while at Nike. Melissa Schneider is the Chief Content Officer for the GoldieBlox brand, overseeing all content development, production, and platform partnerships. Melissa was most recently Executive Vice President at Ron Howard and Brian Grazer's digital studio, New Form, where she built the development slate and production team from the ground up and led the creative development and licensing efforts for two of the first digital to linear series deals with Final Space for TBS in third season and I Ship It for CW. With development and production experience at DreamWorks Animation, My Damn Channel, and Studio 71, Melissa has been at the forefront of the content revolution for nearly 20 years. Well, good afternoon, Melissa and Ferrell. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Hi. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
You bet. This is exciting. Typically, I don't have two guests on the show, but this is what's going to be really fun about this particular podcast segment. And I'll get some insight from both of you on these questions. So that's amazing. So I'm going to start out with question one. And Melissa, I'm going to start with you. You both obviously have quite the careers working in outreach, marketing, branding, and being trendsetters in your space. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and a little bit maybe about your role at GoldieBlox?
Well, the secret to my career growth, I think, would be really about always being curious and just trying to make things and make things happen. I was really an early adopter in the digital content space because I wanted to tell stories in a different way, which really put me on a non-linear career path in the entertainment industry, where there is very much a path, do this, make this, and then you can be like this. But I really thought that the digital space allowed for me to continue to ask questions, be curious, teach myself new things, and then just make videos, tell stories, hang out with cool people. And that led me to work for some of the best producers in the business. And it showed me that really great storytelling and could lead to great business minds and business opportunities. And then that led me eventually to GoldieBlox, where as the Chief Content Officer, I run content strategy and creative development that essentially at its core and part of our mission about how STEM opens up the world to girls to be curious, to make things, which opens up possibilities for their future and the future of the world. And that's always been my path as well. And so I think that's really the secret to my career growth and what led me to GoldieBlox.
Thanks for sharing. And I know, Ferrell, you wanted to say a few words about that as well. And I'd love to hear. Our audience is excited about this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I would actually build a little bit on what Melissa said about being curious, although I'm not sure I put it so eloquently. I think when I was coming up sort of in the marketing world, I knew I always wanted to be in marketing. And at the time, people were much more about industry focus than they were about particular skill sets, it seemed. And I was sort of maybe too dumb or too ignorant to realize that. And I just started to quote Melissa, to be curious and started to try to find jobs that just interested me and that I was really excited about either the people I was working with or what I was doing, or hopefully all of the above. And I do think that benefited me later on down the road. And I think people are much more embracing this model as well of I brought experience from a bunch of different industries. And I feel like at GoldieBlox, especially, they're all sort of coming together. I have a lot of experience in entertainment. I have experience in consumer products. I have some experience in technology. And so all those are sort of coming together and under the GoldieBlox umbrella, which is super exciting for me. And I feel like I have a little bit to contribute to lots of the conversations and lots of the problems that we're trying to solve here. So I find that really exciting. I think you said at the top, I am the Chief Marketing Officer. And sort of for me, that means obviously working quite closely with Melissa in the development of content, but I sort of consider my role to be the protector of the brand and the protector of the mission of the brand. And so I try to really represent the voice of the parents and the kids that we're trying to speak to. And I want to understand the experience they've had, whether it's playing with one of our toys or watching our content. Like, what experience did they have? What emotion did they have when they walked away with? And what did they learn from us? And making sure that all those positive things and the negative feedback, if there is any, we take that back and learn from it and provide even better content the next time around. So it's really just my job, I think, to champion and represent those opinions.
Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. I appreciate the input from both of you. So, Melissa, tell us a little bit more about the new partnership with Toonz Media Group and how you will use storytelling, fueled by STEM, of course, targeted to kids.
Well, we're really excited to be partnering with Toonz Media to work on a lot of new exciting projects through the integration of storytelling and STEM principles. GoldieBlox and Toonz Media are looking to build new global animation franchises that will include content, product, curriculum, and community extensions. We're excited by this because this is hopefully these properties and all of the amazing storytelling within them will give girls the tools to build their confidence, dreams, and ultimately their futures through stories that speak to what they really love on platforms that they hang out on most. And through Toonz's global reach as like a worldwide animation company, we think that they're the best partners to help us really elevate STEM learning in fun ways that kids and families can really connect to.
Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure Farrell's probably got a few words to say to this as well.
I'm not sure I can top that. I think she said it perfectly. We are really excited about this relationship and really excited about the possibilities that animation bring to storytelling, and especially sort of in this day and age when there's not as much live action production. Animation is such a great way to reach people with new and fresh content. We are really excited about this, and we're excited to show it to the world.
That's amazing. I appreciate both of you doing such a great job in sharing your story around this particular topic. So I'm going to jump into the next one, Ferrell. And I'm going to just start with you. Are you looking at leveraging any new or emerging technologies within your space? And maybe it's just a new tool or cool app that you found useful you might share with our audience.
Absolutely. There is a statistic that I, of course, am not going to be able to quote exactly, but something along the lines of a very large percentage of voice activated products at home are controlled by children. And that really stuck with me because I thought, how interesting that is, that it's really empowering kids. I have a child and I tend to control his screen time. And so this is such an empowering and freeing way for him to kind of have a little say in his environment, whether he's asking a question or whether he's listening to music. Something struck me about that and how cool that is for kids. And so that's something that we are in conversations with people about, is exploring that technology, especially given what we do. And we want to empower girls and we want to give them all these ways to get information and content from us. I think that's just a really fun one that we're looking at, and one that people are just really trying to figure out how to maximize or optimize. Of course, AI is something really interesting that we're looking at. It's really interesting as a marketing technology. Voice just sort of, quote unquote, spoke to me because I thought it just really aligns with what we're trying to do. And so we're excited to bring some of that to life.
Ferrell, that was awesome. Thank you. And Melissa, what do you got?
On the creative side of that, what we're really excited about is to figure out how to do world building, franchise building, and do interesting storytelling with this technology. So Ferrell's excitement from the marketplace side of things has ignited our creative side of the business to say like, oh, this is a new technology that we could tell stories to kids that would allow them to have control, more interactivity, as well as find the products and the things that they love and that they want to buy. But how do we tell like really rich stories that they connect to and build character? So I think when we think about emerging technologies at GoldieBlox, we're always thinking about what's like the new way to reach kids with the technologies that they're playing around with, but still have great storytelling that is fueled by STEM.
Awesome. I think technology and youth kind of go hand in hand, whether we want it to or not. It's just, I think
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I appreciate you all sharing that. And I'm going to jump into the last one here. And Farrell, I'm going to start with you. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in marketing, branding, or leadership?
At the risk of being cliche, I will give a piece of advice that I think would apply to sort of any career, no matter sort of what discipline you're interested in pursuing. For me, it was really always being the person that raises their hand and says, I'll take it on. I'll try, I'll figure it out. I'm not going to bug you with 1,000 questions as to, hey, how do I figure this out? I'm just going to go be resourceful and not be the squeaky wheel for my boss. And now as a manager of people, I really appreciate those kinds of people as well that are really showing drive and I will figure this out at all costs and only ask you questions when I absolutely need to. I think there's something that's just really empowering for them and great for me and someone I want to have on my team and someone that I'm going to constantly give more and more assignments to, because when I realize you can do the basic things, then I'm going to want you to just branch out and do the creative things and bring me crazy ideas and let's do really fun stuff together. So for me, that's really a big one. Is I just was really always trying to be the one that someone could depend on and count on. And that I think has paid off for me.
Melissa, what are your thoughts on that?
To circle back to what we were talking about earlier here is I really think it's about being curious and asking questions and never settling for the first answer. Just keep digging into, your passions, committing to your passions, committing to your vision. And then the biggest one I would say is to have the discipline then to pursue those goals and those passions, even in the face of the unknown. Because I found through my career path and the teams I've worked with and the companies I've worked with, and I've worked on a lot of startups in the startup space, is that on the other side of the unknown, there are just some really awesome new business opportunities. There's new models to be cracked. And there's really, really interesting people that you're going to learn from, become amazing friends with, and build new businesses with that are going to change the world. And I really think that if people stick to it and say, no, I have a great idea, I'm not quite sure how to get there, but I'm open to the curious journey, that you will find yourself on the other side. And there will be amazing things that I do think nowadays is really important for entrepreneurs to believe in, so that we can, solve the world's problems and come up with some new amazing things to watch and to see and to share with the next generation.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Melissa. It's a great follow-up from Ferrell's response, and an amazing podcast today. Melissa and Ferrell, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you both real soon.
Thank you so much. This was great and a really fun conversation. I appreciate being on, so it was great.
Thank you so much for having us. It's always fun to chat and to riff with Ferrell as well.
Bye for now.